All right, hello. I'm excited because at long last my Aurora Volterra has returned. So I ordered it at the end of 2024, received it February of 2025, and then I noticed that there were some defects. So I had to send it back to Aurora to be fixed. So this is the packaging. It's finally back to me. I've seen the packaging before, of course, from the first time that I received it. Um, but it's kind of cool to see the whole experience. Then this Aurora box. And the box is quite a presentation. If I had my choice, I'm not really sure how, all of you feel about packaging in boxes, but I would have been really happy with a easily recyclable box, something really simple, and then having it come with like a leather pen sleeve. I think that would have been amazing. Something really luxurious, especially having been made in Italy. And this is the box that it comes in, identifying that it's an 18 karat nib. It looks like this got damaged in shipment. I didn't notice that. So yeah, that's just like the box. And I've already taken it out of the box and have it in my pen sleeve. So let's take a look at that, which is cool because I wanted to show you my pen sleeve anyway. So I've been switching over my pen sleeves from hard shell Galen leathers to these. The name escapes me right now. I can put it in the description, but these are by Galen Leather. And I just really like the feel of the leather. This apparently is woven silk. And I have this in the 3 and the 5. And this is the one that I keep my Auroras in because I have been on an Aurora kick. So here is my lovely Aurora Volterra. And I'm really happy that it's back with me. We're going to ink it up and write with it. I also, let me see, here we go. My pen rest. This is my purple heart pen rest. These are available in my shop. But I want to show you my other two Auroras, the ones that accompany the collection here. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this is my Volterra that just came back, so we're going to clean it up, ink it up. This is my Aurora 365 Brown, and this has gold hardware on it. It's an Optima model. Ink window. It has an 18K nib, and this is marked as a medium, but it actually writes really, really wet. Okay, next one is my Aurora Optim also. This is Viola. I think this one is a rose gold trim and 14K flex nib. So here's the interesting thing. When I originally ordered my Aurora Volterra, it came with an extra fine. That's what I ordered it with. But after writing with it, I wasn't very impressed. So backstory is I have my first experience ever with Aurora was trying an Aurora Optima. It was the cappuccino. They don't make it anymore at the San Francisco Pen Show. And it had an extra fine, and the feedback was absolutely delightful. From there, I knew I wanted to get an Aurora with an extra fine. It's just the regular kind of nib on it, not the flex or anything. So I ordered this in the extra fine, wrote nothing like it. It was not feedbacky, very much at all, and the line was quite broad. So because I had to send it back to be repaired anyway. I knew that I liked the flex nib, so I decided to get the flex nib again. Here's the interesting thing. The one I just showed you said 14K, this one says 18. So I'm really curious to see if it writes much differently. Also, my other one I've had modified by having it ground down to an extra fine, because these come by standard in a fine. You'll see that Aurora labels their nibs on the feed. It's an ebonite feed, and these nibs are removable, kind of like Yovo and Bach. So they unthread out of the housing. So with the Aurora Volterra comes ink, and it's an unmarked Aurora ink, but it's basically the Volterra ink. So we're going to swatch this together also, and I'm going to ink it with this because I think that's a nice revisit to that ink. It's a nice brown color. So I'm just gonna, I usually fill by syringe, so I think I'm gonna keep that going. So I can show you how to remove the nib. But it might be, let me see. Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, so I usually just use, sometimes you'll need something grippy to get it out. In this case it was a little tight, but fine. But you just unthread it like that. And whenever possible, I always am looking to fill my fountain pens via a blunt tip syringe. I don't really like using the pistons. I guess at this point they might as well be eyedroppers, but that's just my personal preference. So I'm just gonna rinse the nib off in some water, just in case there was any oils on it. It looks like it's coming off blue, which means that they tested it at some point, probably back at Aurora, so that's good. So I'll give it a little scrub now that I know there's some ink on there too. And trying not to get my actual hands on. I'm tempted to flush it now that I know there's glue in there. And I wonder how many of you bother washing your brand new pen nibs before you use them. Okay, I am flushing it. Quite a bit of blue is coming out, so I think they just dipped it. I use this bulb syringe to clean, and I just fit it. It fits really nicely right on the back, and I flush it out like that. And I just ordered a new one too, because that one's getting a little old. Okay, so I just want to dry this off a bit. That way I'm not diluting my color. And I'm not seeing any blue coming off anymore, so that's good. That's all set. Good. All right, let's get some of this ink here. I'm gonna do a half a mil. Sorry, I mean, oh no, these caps are the worst. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do this off camera because I'm gonna spray like crazy. I like that they protect the bottle with this plastic thing, but you just get ink all over the place, and sometimes if you open it too vicariously, it'll just like spritz all over your desk and require a huge cleanup. So it seems that we have so far avoided catastrophe in that front. Okay, we're gonna do half a mil. Fill. I'll put this right into my pen. Como ça. And then put put this here, and then I'll gently rotate this until it's tight, but not tight. Okay, that feels good. Okay, then I'll leave it like this for a minute while I close the bottle. Alright, now what I do to basically prime it, some people will dip it, I'm okay with that, but I usually will hold it in my paper towel and like flick it. There we go. So now I know the ink's coming out. And that's how I prime my pens when I'm first inking them. Alright, so let's get straight to this writing. So I'm really eager to see how it's going to write. So again, my other one's a 14K flex. This is an 18K, and it should be like a fine, or maybe... Ooh. Oh, my apologies. Let's try that again. So it does not have that classic Aurora feedback. It feels really smooth. Maybe I should have specified if they could... I didn't even think of saying that, which is dumb. But it's not... Okay, there is a little bit of feedback now that I write like this. Let's try flexing it a bit. So it's a nice bouncy soft nib, but I wouldn't consider it like a flex pen. You can see from the normal like figure S's or whatever to the flex ones that there's a difference, and it's a significant difference. And the nib is obliging, but it's really not anything that I would consider like a flex pen. The ink is really lovely. I remember when I first got this, I really liked the ink a lot. It's a nice kind of medium to light brown with a slight pink hue, which I think kind of plays off. Let's take a look at this beautiful pen, now that we got the writing sample. So a very classic Aurora clip with the ball. I'm not tremendously fond of the clip. I'd say it's my least favorite thing about the pen, beside the fact that the 88s, which this is, are cigar shapes, so rounded tops instead of flat tops like the Optimas are. I prefer flat tops in general, but the resin is absolutely the beauty in this pen. You can see the chatoyance, you can see that very beautiful kind of brownish yellow coloring between the cracks of the resin that is white and chatoyant. Like that one especially, it reminds me of like the inside of a seashell. It's very beautiful. And then over here, so it's semi-transparent. You can see here that dark interior versus right here it's pure white, and that's the nib. And then over here you can see that dark casting color behind also. That's the ink that's inside. And then over here you'll just see the white colors. Rose gold trim on the bands and throughout. This is the knob that would operate the piston. And the band is really beautiful and simple. It just says Aurora, made in Italy. That's it. Versus this other one has Aurora and then kind of those designs. The band is totally different. It's a numbered edition too, out of 888. So then we have an ink window, which I think is fantastic. The threads, so first of all, there's hardly any step here, which is phenomenal. The threads are some of the smoothest that are out there, very shallow and unnoticeable, which I really like. It means a lot to me. Ebonite feed, which doesn't happen very much anymore. I love the grip section, the flare out at the bottom, but also the girth of it is extremely comfortable. I have to say, this is one of the most comfortable pens, if not the, I probably wouldn't hesitate really to say the most comfortable pen that I have ever tried and that I have in my collection. And another drawback I would say is you can see there's no inner cap. So you can see the metal top there and then the resin, but no inner cap, which I think is a disservice to this beautiful luxury pen at this price point, along with the ebonite feed and the beautiful gold nib and the ink window and everything else. I really think they should have bothered to have an inner cap. I don't recall ever having an issue with my Auroras being dry when I uncap them. So maybe that's kind of the idea is, oh, if we build the cap well, we don't need an inner cap. I still like the idea of them. I don't know if this is called the 88 or the 888 because I guess it's out of 888. And then Volterra. So it's not as feedbacky as I would like compared to like a Sailor nib. The Aurora I remember trying that was from years ago was definitely a lot more feedbacky than this. It was definitely I'm pretty sure it was either a fine or an extra fine. It was definitely on par with Sailor feedback. And this is really smooth. There's a slight feedback that I can hear, but it's barely detectable by sensation. And I think that's a bummer. Like, I really like the feedback. But maybe they've found that a lot of people don't care for feedback, and now they're deciding to accommodate the majority of people. I've also been chatting with Lau. We're big time into Auroras, and I've heard from Blake's broadcast also that we definitely see something different going on with the nib work compared to previous years of Auroras. So I think that something has changed, possibly. If their nibmeister or nib technician, whatever you want to call them, nib specialist, has switched, or what the situation is. But it's definitely not the same. But feedback aside, it's performing beautifully. No skips, no roughness, no unevenness. It feels lovely. I think the highlight of this pen is definitely the nib and the material itself, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so let me do a swatch of this Aurora Volterra ink, and then we can continue chatting. I have one of my other Auroras inked, and is it the one with the flex? I think it is. So let's compare them, because I'd like to compare, even though they're not inked with the same ink. It would be interesting to see. I was going to say also, I didn't mention this early on. I'm just a little excited about having this, but the reason my old Aurora, the original one, was sent back was because for repair. All along here, and let me see if I can get up close, you can faintly see the threads there, perhaps where the piston would be fitted into the back of the pen. So on that were cracks. And when I reached out to the retailer, they were like, oh, that's just how the resin is. because this is cracked ice resin. So I think they thought that I was either ignorant or incompetent or whatever in saying that this was cracked. And I was like, no, I understand that the resin itself is like a cracked ice look, but what I see are fractures and crack in the actual resin. I have photos of it, and I wish I could share them with you right now, but that's not possible. It's just how this live is set up. So far, this one looks good. Like the issue was addressed and fixed. But that was such a heartbreak to get this brand new, beautiful pen. It's a luxury pen, and then having that slip through quality control, both from Aurora and from the retailer. And then kind of having to push back on the retailer too to have this sent back to be fixed. And now it looks really good, which I'm happy about. My major concern was that those cracks that were in the resin, I think what happened was when the interior was being bored out, the hollow part of the inside, where the ink would be and where the piston would be inserted. I think that's where something went wrong, or when the piston was being fitted in, I think that it cracked the internal resin. And my concern was that over years to come, those cracks would become worse. And I think it's better just to get it taken care of immediately instead of the possibility that that issue would become worse. Plus, I think like a lot of us, I'm detail oriented, and it bothered me that that happened. When you're paying for a brand new full price pen, like when it's a luxury pen like this, you definitely expect it to be on spec. So that's kind of the backstory on that. I've got a swatch card here so I can swatch this ink. I'm going to use a glass spoon today to do the swatching with. And I have I know I just inked the pen so I could write it, but I like it for the sake of consistency. I've been using my Colorverse shuttle for the dip writing. So this is Aurora Volterra. I'll show you once it is completely dry, but I think that's really lovely. Fantastic brown. And I think to my knowledge this ink is specific to the Volterra, and I don't believe it's for sale. But yeah, I can definitely see that warm, kind of almost pinkish undertone. It's very pretty. And I think it's a bit dark, but very fitting for the Aurora as a collection goes. So that's nice. Let's compare this Aurora 14K. Now, as I mentioned, I did have this ground down by Mike Masuyama to an extra fine. So there will be definitely difference in feedback because it's finer and line variation, but I'm going to see if I can just feel any difference between the 14K and the 18K nib. I guess this is Optima. I feel like this one is a little bit, let's see, let me just write with it. I was going to say it feels a little bouncier. The line variation, I would say, looks the same. I don't find one looking any thicker than the other. Yeah, I actually don't feel like a distinguishable difference between the two, which is really interesting. You would think that you would feel a difference, but I can't say that I really do. And part of that could be because they're not the same point, but to me, they honestly do feel the same. So I'm really pleased with that because that's another thing that's uncertain. But yeah, I'd say if you, let me see if I can give you a close up. That's what the nib looks like. So it's not completely bulbous, but it's definitely a nice smooth rider with a very slight feedback. It's not extremely wet either. This one feels a little bit wetter, but it could be the ink. And it's an extra fine, so maybe it is a bit wetter. It doesn't, yeah, as far as how much flex is offered, it's definitely not a flex pen. It is obliging, it feels bouncy and soft. But I would say, as I have been using this, it's more of a pen that's suited as a very pleasant, soft, bouncy, everyday writer. Not, if you're looking for a flex experience, it's not here, I would say. That's not the forte of this pen. I'd say, in my opinion, the reason why I love this pen so much, what I would consider the forte is, first of all, it's a beautiful Italian pen. I really like Italian pens. The resin is beautiful, but it's a very comfortable pen. There's very little transitions, and the transitions that do exist, like from the window up here, it's beveled and it's as smooth as it could be. Then from the grip section to the threads and the window, you can't feel a transition at all, but you do feel the threads, however shallow and soft they are. And I like the girth of where I hold the pen, which is about here, that it's girthy. If you hold it a little bit lower, it's less girthy. But the other thing is, I really like the look of the flex nib. You can see the tines look a bit elongated. The nib has a very beautiful shape. You get an ebonite feed. I could take or leave the fact that it's a piston. I guess it's nice having the option to hold a lot of ink, but personally I swap inks out quite regularly. So like I just did now, I did a 1/2 mil fill. That's pretty typical for me because I like to swap inks out a lot. So yeah, that's about it. That's my little overview. I'm so excited to have it back. My Aurora Volterra, I'm glad that I don't see any cracking on the resin, but I think it's a really nice reminder, whether you buy a pen brand new or used, is just to give it a good look over, because even beside the aesthetic of having some fractures or cracks on your pen, it's good to be aware of any issues that might arise later from things when they start. So yeah, thanks for joining. I'm looking forward to having this back and using it a ton more. I think I'll do some, I have a lot of inks that I've been looking forward to pairing with the Aurora Volterra, so I think I'm really going to look forward to inking it up with different inks. Let me see if I have some on hand that I wanted to... Okay, so yeah, let's look at some inks really quick. So these are ink pairings that I'm considering for the Aurora. Sailor 252. I don't know if this ink is going to be wet enough or like dark enough to ink in a extra fine, but I think it's a very pretty pairing. Here's the Aurora Volterra quite dry, so very pretty. There is it compared to Je Herbon Le Vete, so a lot darker, a lot more leaning toward the reddish pink. A nice dusty purple would be really pretty also. And let's see what some of the other ones are. I kind of like the Colorverse Brunch Date. I think that would look really nice in this pen as well. And I was looking at, yeah. So this, the Colorverse Kentucky Smoky Bourbon, I think would look really nice to kind of highlight that, that really light brown color that's between the crevices of the cracked ice resin. And same with like the Colorverse Haho mask. I think that would go really well with that. The question is the nib wet enough and broad enough to make the writing legible enough? I don't like to like squint when I'm writing with my pens. This is a lot on the more cool side, but I think that looks really pretty too. This is Fiercewell Press Madame Mulberry. I am fearful that that would be too light, but isn't that an enchanting pairing? I think that would pull more from those chatoyant pieces that are kind of a pink color, and some of them are flecked green. I don't know if I would ink this with a green necessarily though. Okay, if this was a shimmer-free ink, this would be gorgeous. The Vinta Liquid Sepia. That is really pretty, but I don't feel comfortable putting shimmer in this pen. I don't put shimmer in most any of my pens. I pretty much... oh, this would be cool too. The Alchemy Molten Bronze. I have to look at the greens. I wonder if there's a nice green. I think I had one here too. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, what do you think of this? Sailor 280. So let me see if we can find a fleck right there. Do you see that bright shimmery fleck? That would look kind of cool. I actually like that a lot. Kind of pull those green tones out of that chatoyant resin. And see, when it pulls too, it's kind of a brownish orange. Although I don't think this nib, unless you're flexing it, is really ooh, I like that too. So another one that I wish didn't have shimmer in it. Wrangell Path. That'd be cool. Kind of an olivey yellow would be pretty. Oh, Kobe Ginza Gold Sepia. That's a little more muddy. Maybe I want to stick to something bright, and I like that Sailor 280 that I just showed a lot. And this is too bright. These are just, this is just a Wrangell book of some sample inks that I have. It's not all inclusive, so I'll have a lot more. But I'd say for now, my top picks, I already have it inked in the Aurora Volterra color. So I think my top picks for colors to put on the list for inking it up with would be these. And these two lighter colors pop a lot more to me also, especially this, the Sailor 280. Oh, they're both Sailor inks, how funny. Yeah. This is funky though, like look, light purple and then the color that you get in the high saturation is really cool. So that's what I have at inks to start with. Oh, William, sorry, I just saw your NJD. Thank you. I just saw the... I don't know why those weren't popping up, but I don't know which ink you were saying is so awesome. Sorry. So, yeah, that's what I think I'm going to start with. I've been on kind of a purple kick. This was... Ooh. Oh, my goodness. Another one with shimmer that I won't put in my pen, but looks so pretty. Yeah. All right, so thanks for joining. I'll probably do like a swatching exploration along with my Aurora Volterra, but these are some colors that I'm kind of vibing with to get it started with, especially the two Sailor inks, I would say. And then I'll probably lean more into the browns come autumn and winter. But right now we're still in summer and I want to enjoy those summer shades. So yeah, we're back together again and we're gonna have fun. So I'll see you on the next one.